Hey guys. Right, because we're on YouTube, so that's how we gotta do our intro.
Yeah. Hey,
Anyways, welcome
hey.
everybody to the Infernal Brotherhood, the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is in fact a live YouTube vidcast for Star Wars fans, by Star Wars fans, and today we're doing something a little different. We want your guys' honest opinion on how the show goes. We decided a little while back, because how many more characters can we break down and just completely either despise or fillet for an hour or two at a time? Let's be honest, there's a lot. But we decided we're going to try something new since we're already doing, the twice a week reviews on The Mandalorian and Resistance. And yes, we're sticking with Resistance. God damn it, we're going to do it.
We paid for it.
We paid for it, and you know what? We'll get into it here in a minute. But it's not awful now. So that's something. So we decided, since we're already doing that, and then of course we got the HoloNet news and then the show proper, we just decided, fuck it, we're just going to do once a week, condense everything together. That way we're a little bit more on point with news and just everything else that's going on. So if you guys like it, say something. If you don't like it, well, fuck you, this is our show. But thanks for tuning in.
I'm looking forward to how this goes, how it flows. I know.
I think it'll be a little bit better, because I always feel like anytime we do a HoloNet news and it's like something happens right after we do the fucking news, then it's just like we got to wait another month to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
which has happened like twice in my memory.
Yeah. Oh, it happens every fucking time for me. There's always like that one thing that, next day I'm getting on StarWars.com like, oh,
what
we could have talked about that. What's one more toy we could have talked
Sunday morning, people. Sunday morning.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of setup for a bunch of different types of shows. So if we could just condense that into one setup for one more complex show, I think
Yes.
for me it makes it a little easier. It is going to be interesting because I'm going to after we've recorded these live, I'm going to timestamp the videos with the reviews of the particular whatever it is. And so that way you guys can just jump to what you find important, if it's not all Star Wars stuff.
It should all be Star Wars
stuff.
It
should be.
All Star Wars stuff, rather.
To be fair. There is nothing but Star Wars stuff.
Well, okay. Let's be honest. We always go off on tirades about other shit. Yeah. It's just...
that's true.
At least I haven't, so I probably won't bring up Princess Mononoke.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, no,
now
I just
said get into
it. You got to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nerdy shit.
Let's talk about some Star Wars.
Yeah. Let's talk Star Wars, more specifically HoloNet news.
All right, and we got the intro.
Yeah. News, updates, rumors, events, and floating Nerf skulls.
Nerf. Yeah. It's what's for dinner.
God. So this is...
Hold on. This is not supposed to be here.
That's totally Resistance.
This is the wrong image. Forgive me.
This is still a wrong image.
This is
the one that's on point. If you guys haven't read this article, holy shitballs, it is fucking hilarious. So Kathleen Kenedy was getting interviewed earlier last month, I believe it was, or later last month. And she was discussing how it's difficult to write Star Wars movies and Star Wars shows because they don't unlike the Marvel movies, they don't have any comics or novels to draw for inspiration.
Who ever heard of a Star Wars novel?
Yeah, let's let that sink in for just a fucking second. When Disney took over in 2014, that was 35 fucking years, or almost 40 years.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay, let's say 35, because I think 78.
We can round up.
Whatever. Anyways, almost 4 fucking decades of comics and novels. But because they decided it was too damn difficult to pay the people that are already policing the canon, or, well, now Legends, but the canon at the time, to integrate it into Disney, they said, fuck it, and started over.
Well, possibly the worst part of all of this is that they're still reaching into those Legends buckets for little story threads. So it's not like they're starting from total scratch. No. And the stupid decision to wipe away everything that came anyway was just insane to me.
It was.
Ugh.
And here's the thing, like, and I've had this discussion actually quite a bit as of late, ever since I read this article. But the thing is, like, it's not uncommon to take an IP and change it to make it fit a film narrative. Shit happens all the time. I mean, look at Dr. Sleep. Great example. Like, that was a complete melding of different things and its own thing. And everybody fucking ate it up. Like, any true fans ate it up. The only
Anyone that actually saw it definitely ate it up.
Yeah. If they didn't like it, they either didn't see it or they're just assholes that don't like anything.
I'm actually, like, I don't want to go off on another side rant, but I want to express my dissatisfaction with the numbers that Dr. Sleep pulled down per the quality of film it is.
It is a shame.
It doesn't make any sense. And they said they were in development, early development of Halloran, Dick Halloran movie.
Oh my god!
Like, just him, same director that did Dr. Sleep, was gonna do and did Haunted on Hill House, is gonna do a freaking Dick Halloran movie.
Jesus Christ! All right, so
but now
you brought it up. Oh, they're not.
Well, how could they when the box office was so poor for Dr. Sleep?
I find it hard to believe it wasn't that good. Like, I mean, yeah, because it's not giant numbers and it's the #1 movie in America, blah blah blah. But still, like, that's one of those movies, especially because it's genre. Like, you cannot make a genre film and expect, Saw money or
the problem is it fucking flipped the lid.
That is, but we get that. Once or twice a decade, we get a horror movie that does that.
Yeah.
But every other one, you can't expect that. Like, all the things that it came up against, no one's going to talk about them in 10 years.
Yeah.
In 10 years, people are still going to be talking about that fucking movie and watching that movie. You're going to go to horror conventions, and people are going to be dressed like Dan. People are going to be dressed like everybody in that fucking movie. It's going to live. Like, that's that's how genre films go, including science fiction, which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Star Wars.
So,
that's
Star Wars.
Sorry, people. We have to do this from time to time,
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys, this the first time you're watching, sorry, that's what happens.
I do want to, I want to quote her directly because it's the most absurd thing. Every one of these movies is a particularly hard nut to crack. There's no source material. We don't have comic books. We don't have 800-page novels. We don't have everything other than passionate storytellers who got together and talk about what the next iteration might be. We go through a really normal... Fuck you!
That's exactly what has happened since 1978, you dumb fuck. Like, literally, there is a group of 10 people that made Star Wars canon, not counting Uncle George.
It's just so...
And they're still a part of it. That's the biggest thing. They're still a part of it. I mean, minus, like, Aaron Alston, for obvious reasons, God rest his soul and all, but, like, they're still a part of it. I mean, Timothy Zahn is still pumping out Star Wars novels. I wouldn't say they're up to the same caliber, and I honestly don't think it's him. It has everything to do with Disney.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just Heir to the Empire alone. Like,
I think, I mean, he already said in an interview when the third book was coming out that he was, like, put in a box by Filoni.
Yeah, see, I hadn't read that, but yeah, you can definitely feel it because he can do just a one-off novel. Like, you read Choice of One. That is just expansive. It is huge. I mean, it's the same page count as Thrawn novels, the current Thrawn novels, but there's so much more story. It's a shame. It's a fucking shame.
I do want to quickly jump out here. There's an audience member named Yana Yon, I believe it's pronounced. And
that sounds stupid.
She said, well, Obi-Wan is in Dr. Sleep and the Force is used.
No. Miss Yana cannot fucking talk about that because Miss Yana was getting fucking mad at her wonderful and amazing husband for fucking looking over every 5 seconds going, oh, it's Obi-Wan. They're using the Force. So, fuck you, random audience member that was may or may not be my wife.
Strange Yana. So funny.
I believe it's actually pronounced Hana.
Hana. Well, Hana says that picture of the lady reminds her of the South Park episode of the smug people.
No comment. No comment. All I can say is they raped my friend. So moving on to
the new TV spots for the Rise of Skywalker.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
I do have the audio on. Let me turn it.
It's so hard for me. Oh, you got the audio on. So.
I'm turning it down. You can talk.
Oh, okay. It's just so hard for me because I'm worried it's going to be like The Last Jedi, where it's a beautiful movie. Like, nobody can argue that it was not competently shot.
Right. Cinematically, it was beautiful.
It just... I have such a hard time getting excited, especially because I just finished Resistance Reborn. Mm-hmm. And I think it's in this one where they start talking about leadership and stuff. That's just... They cling too heavily to one single word, like one buzzword, and that's the entire story. Yes. And I'm worried that's how this is going to be, since this is, since that's like the direct tie-in to this coming film. Mm-hmm. I have such a hard time getting excited for it. I mean, I'm going to see it. I got tickets for opening night, first screening in Ogden, and blah blah blah. But I'm not excited.
There's scenes in it that get me excited, and then there's scenes where I'm just like, "Oh, give me a goddamn break." I do want to talk about this really quick though, because when it shows Rey walk in and look at the Darth Vader melted helmet and sort of pan a little bit, and then we see that other side of Kylo Ren, I think they're fighting in there, and they accidentally crushed that the helmet in the stand. I don't think it's on purpose. There's a shot here where it picks up right after where they crashed, and you can see Kylo Ren's face is like, ah, like distressed.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would make more sense. I don't understand why somebody that worshipped his grandpa so much would destroy his, like, the only shit left of him.
Yeah. I do like that we get a shot of the Knights of Ren.
And the Sith Troopers.
Yeah, I mean, that's just super cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun. Like, I can't wait to see those. But just, like, the story in and of itself, I don't know. I hope it's okay. I'm not expecting...
The story may be okay, but I'm like you, man. I'm a little bit terrified.
Well, see, I'm not at this point because really, it's over anyways. There's nothing after this, right. At least as far as the Skywalker saga is concerned.
And it is pretty unrealistic to expect that this final movie would even have the chance of repairing in your mind the last one or two movies if you didn't like them. So yeah. Like if we can't even go into this thinking, oh well, there's a good chance that I'm going to enjoy this, we're just masochists. I don't know, because we're still going to go see it.
We are. I mean, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Like, we're junkies. We're always looking for that first good high. We're never going to get it, but we're going to kill ourselves trying.
Do you think they're going to give, or that they do give, any real information away with these TV spots, with all the new footage?
No, I doubt it. Because that's one thing they have been consistent with, as far as, like, the Disneyfication of the Star Wars universe. Right. They haven't done a Star Wars, or a Disney-style Star Wars commercial. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't get anything out of it. So, yeah, I don't know. And I was thinking about that earlier when I was watching them. Like, when 3PO is saying goodbye, this is the last time I'm going to see my friends. Like, I don't think he's going to die. I don't think he's going to end. Because why would they give that away?
Right. Yeah.
Like, that would be like giving away the whole, Han Solo dies in The Force Awakens.
I think he's going to have to do like a system reboot change or something in order to fulfill a task, and then once that task is complete, then they'll bring him back to normal.
Well, I almost wonder if it's going to be like a whole L3 situation, and I think we've talked about this before, but where he becomes one with the Falcon.
Did we talk about that? I don't remember that.
I'm pretty goddamn sure we talked about that, if not on the show in
C-3PO?
Yeah, I could see him because I mean, fuck, he's a droid. There's got to be something useful in him.
He's just the one that's never really had anything. Like, he has his language, but other than that, he's just sort of the slapsticky guy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
has he ever really contributed anything to a situation, though?
Comedic timing. That's about it.
But, like, for the integrity of the story, like, could we have moved through every single film without even having him there?
Well, I mean, A New Hope, he talks his R2's way out of Imperial Grasp. Like, oh, I'm going to take him down to maintenance. And then they walk off.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm really grasping for straws here, but like, there's that.
Yep, that's one thing. Yeah. He saved R2 so that R2 could be the hero for all the other films.
Well, and then I guess he talks Luke and Uncle Owen into getting R2. But if you've read from a certain point of view, it really wasn't 3PO. It was the other droid that gave him his life for the Rebels.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and that's why he was wearing his arm, right?
Wait, what?
His red arm.
No. So, from a certain point of view...
Oh, yeah, no. I'm sorry.
So you remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I jumped over to C-3PO for some weird reason and into the future, but yeah.
No, and we still don't know about the goddamn red arm. I am fucking pissed.
Well, that's why C-3PO was wearing a red arm, is because it was like an homage to a droid who sacrificed himself to free them, yeah.
Where was that, though?
It was in like a kid's story or a comic. No, it was in a comic.
Oh, okay. If it was in a comic, whatever. I'll have to look
check
that
it out.
That's just shit. You explain that shit in a movie, guy.
Yeah. Especially when he calls it out in the movie. Oh, you may not recognize me.
It should have been explained in The Last Jedi. Fucking Rian Johnson, man.
This guy. I do like what Hana says. Maybe they'll kill everyone off so it'll be bearable.
Well, I mean, essentially that's what the plan was from the get-go, was kill all the old guard.
Yeah. So
that from here on out, if they continue, well, let's be honest, they're going to continue Rey and fucking Krylo's shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to. But
yeah,
it would make sense for everybody to die, because then, you know, you're not having constantly, like, you know, tie-ins with them coming back, because you're going to want to see it.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, do you think that that scene of the horses on the like Star Destroyers that are rising up out of the water, do you think that's the final, like the big final battle?
I don't know, because they are, you know, coming out of the water, but we see them in space. I don't know. Do
we see them in space, or do we just see them submerged? Like, visually, is there a difference between how it looks?
That's a good point, because I have no fucking clue.
Let's look at next time, because if it's just like a little like milky and has like shards of light coming down from the top, then it could be underwater.
Yeah. Good thing these are only 30-second spots. I mean, it goes by in the blink of an eye.
Super fast. It looked like it was in the sky, though.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because those aren't space horses. Space sea horses. That they're riding.
Those are definitely not space seahorses.
Everyone knows those. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think that's enough for Mrs. Skywalker. I'm losing my mind.
Grasping straws to make that news, because it's too fucking. We're gonna get it in less than a month, and
I was really just wanting to talk about it in case there was like something we saw that we thought would lend to plot or anything. I don't know, but I don't think so.
Excuse me, guys.
How rude.
I know, I'm losing my voice today. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. All right, well, let's keep it lubricated for Resistance.
Yeah. Fucking... Oh. Nope, that's not Resistance, Adam.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you're playing.
Oh, you had me scared.
Okay. Yeah, so this is Episode 7, Relic Raiders, sorry. This is an episode I didn't think was going to happen. Like, it's so nice to see, because this is something that even in Legends was, you know, commonplace. Like, the Jedi would build on top of Sith stuff.
Yeah.
To sort of like trap it in. I mean, even Coruscant, like if you really delve deep into Legends, like Coruscant the center of the galaxy was actually a Sith planet, like the beginning of the Sith Empire. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So,
all right. So this, let me give the plot. We've already touched a little bit on a set piece here. Captain Doza sends Kaz, Tora, and Freya on a supply run to a planet called Ashas Re. Kel and Isla, the twins that were rescued from the First Order's assault of their town, who are apparently Force sensitive, beg him, Kaz, to let them go with him because they're like bored as hell. So he relents. They get down to Ashas Re, and there's nobody around. So Tora and Freya go scavenging on their own, and Kaz returns to find the twins missing. Once they're got on planet, they started chasing these parvenoths. They look like just white butterflies.
Yeah, they're fucking butterflies. Don't fucking try to shit in my hand and
don't spacify my butterfly. They lead them straight to like a Jedi temple. They don't call it a Jedi temple directly. It's like a Force area or something in the show.
Well, they didn't, but what's her bucket? Mika, I think it is. Yeah. She did. She said it was a Jedi temple.
So they get into the Jedi temple and quickly go down. They go in because they hear someone calling out help, which we discover in just a second. They get into the temple and realize that this isn't a Jedi temple. This is a Jedi structure over a Sith temple. And it takes us right back to... what is that show? Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
Raiders was the word I was searching for. Now, this is just an homage to temple exploring traps in the shortest, most retarded Scooby-Doo way, because Kaz just walks and everything he steps on is a trap.
Of course, because that's how he is.
That's just what happens. All the other people walking in front of him, the droid rolling along, no one triggers anything, but Kaz comes along.
Yes, and he triggers everything.
Fucking douche. Anyway, they get separated within the Sith. I don't know why I'm so aggressive about this. It doesn't really matter. I actually enjoyed the film.
Yeah, no, this was actually a decent episode, but it's so hard to talk about Kaz and not want to punch something.
It's very true. We need stress balls. We need stress Kaz balls. Not Kaz's balls.
That's
though.
Say that. Maybe. Well, whatever.
I'm not going to judge. Okay, let's get back on track. So they separate. Kaz walks into this idol again. Raiders of the Lost Ark. This Sith relic idol, but he's been shocked through his brain, and so he's not really thinking right. He's thinking the "help me" voice is coming through the idol. It's telling him not to touch the idol, and because he's Kaz, he touches it and grabs it anyway. Opens up a trap. He falls down, and he's trapped with the "help me" voice, which is later revealed to be the Mika Greya. Mika Greya?
Yes, Mika Greya.
Okay. Anyway, her character was designed after Ventress, actually, like the sort of strength of individual with Force connection, and which I found was really interesting. But they didn't make her look like her, and she's like this old lady with tattoos and clearly an adventure at her core, is just belittling and berating Kaz, and it's kind of nice.
It definitely made the episode amazing. It's like finally somebody's talking to him the way that someone should talk to him.
This is how the audience speaks to him.
Yeah, it's great.
It was awesome. So the droid goes and finds the kids come back. They ultimately rescue them from another one of Kaz's puzzle trap blunders, and they go to discover that Tora and Freya have been captured by these, they have a specific name. Raiders.
Damn it. I had that shit written down.
I thought I did too, but I don't see it. Anyway,
we got a new trooper. They're fucking cool.
Yeah. So they've been chasing down Mika because she's been looking for... Well, actually, this isn't very clear. Anyway, before we get into the discussion... They save them from the Raiders because Mika has to destroy this idol in order to save everyone, the Sith artifact, and it kills them. All the groups get together and they go off to the Colossus. Okay, so
yeah, that was a little weird.
There was this First Order Raiders. Were they out doing the bidding of the Supreme Leader? Kylo Ren to collect the Force relics, or were they hunting her who was doing that? Because they did say that
so
they...
my thought on it, because of course, well, even before Krylo was the supreme leader, like I would imagine that Snoke would have had people doing the same thing, like out looking for ancient relics and shit. So I would
we just don't know anything about Snoke, so we can't even honestly say whether he was interested in the Force or he was just gifted it, you know?
Yeah, oh my god. I finally read that fucking Snoke comic book that was supposed to explain Snoke. I want my $3 back. That way. But yeah, my guess is that they are just like a special group of troopers that are just on their own out looking on different planets for specific items. So that's my guess. I don't think they're necessarily hunting her as their first priority, but I would imagine because she's out doing the same shit they are, that she's on their scope, and that's why they know we're trying to...
That's an interesting way, because maybe it's like a race. They're trying to... I don't know. Yeah. They know about the same places, and they're just sort of tracking each other. I don't know. That's kind of
cool. That's kind of how I took it.
Okay, I thought it was they sort of dance on both feet on that, so I wasn't entirely sure how it played out, but I'll dig that. I love that we get to go into a Sith temple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never thought that would ever happen in Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah, well, not only that, but just Star Wars in general. Like, if you've ever played any, like the MMO, that's what it's like when you're walking into a Sith temple, like the burial tombs and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the colors are different, but that's exactly what it fucking looks like. So that was cool as shit to see.
Yeah. And I would argue that if it weren't for Kaz being such a doofus, like, you could have had any other reason for the events that occurred. So it's not like he had to do that in order to progress the story. If he wasn't so stupid at this point, it would have been a really great episode.
Yeah.
Because it's exploring, it's, I don't know, danger, it's fucking Sith. Like, badass.
So dope.
Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like, this is what they do to us. They make us wait so many episodes and then go, okay, fine. Let's get some story.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you think about it, though, there's not really... Again, this is just like the last episode where it's like, oh, we got to get this one thing to continue with our trek. So it's like, it's not really adding to the story at all, but it's a fun episode.
Yeah. I do wonder if Mika, for example, will show up in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder where all of this is going.
Yeah, I don't know, because, I mean, clearly there's a big enough universe she could be off doing whatever she wants. But they're introducing these characters that we don't have a whole lot of time to live with at this point. Mm-hmm. So it seems like they have to have some sort of point to the story.
Yeah.
Like in this particular case, she was the literal MacGuffin to progress them to get into the Sith temple.
Mm-hmm. And
then they sort of adopted her when she, saved them, and she had no other choice, really.
Yeah.
So they abducted her, actually. Now that I think about it.
I mean, voluntary capture.
She's not. It's not quite rape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm going. So I don't know. Like, they don't have to introduce every new character they introduce in any, TV show or anything, but I just think it would be interesting just to have her, like, in the background, especially if this is the end of, like, it seems like Disney's doing everything they can to divorce themselves from the Jedi-Sith dichotomy, and they're trying to embrace the idea of the Force as it's, not one person owns it. I mean, they straight up say it in The Last Jedi, the Jedi don't own the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And then introducing all these other cultures who experience it in all these different ways. Is there going to be like that sort of like combination of different types of Force wielders that defeat the Emperor in the end? Or
see, I would like to see that, actually. Like, that's something that was very, very big in Legends that I thought would just disappear with the title change.
Right.
So I'd love to see that. I mean, we kind of get it a little bit in the cartoons, like with, specifically the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Because that's very different. Or even, what's his name? Bantu or whatever in Rebels. like a giant
right.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his name is.
Yeah, his species was
But yeah,
way
so we
into
do
it.
get that a little bit. So I would actually like to see that in an actual movie. So
Oh,
I
you
don't
were
know.
talking about the Bendu. I was talking about the hero species that has like their own view of the Force. Like
Well, they all.
introduced it in like a 3 story
I'm just
arc.
saying, like there has been examples
Yeah.
of different uses of the Force. So I would just like I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Like almost the
It'd
unification
be
of
really interesting.
yeah. Because I mean, really, if you think about it, we got 9 movies where it's based off of one religion.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can be argued that it's, they're the same religion, just different sides of the coin, like the Sith and the Jedi.
Right.
So that would be cool to see other stuff.
Yeah. All right. I enjoyed the episode. Let us know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments below. But we've got another show to talk about.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So let's dive in, people.
Good God. Fucking Mandalorian, Chapter 3, The Sin.
I love the Mandalorian.
This episode was predictable as hell. You knew everything that was going to happen, and you still wanted to, like, do some karate chops and shit while just so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did want to touch on that because I don't know if we knew, but we hoped that that's the direction it would go. Like, it just seemed like everything they set up to date, that's how it would unfold. Do you think they tipped their hat? Like, the first time you saw the Mandalorian show any type of sensitivity at all was when he put his, like, ET'd Baby Yoda, fingers touching at the very end of the very first episode. So that was, you saw him, you're like, oh, he's actually a sensitive person. There's no way he's turning this motherfucker in. Like, that second you saw that, you're just like, okay, no, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, we were, like, hoping that, but I felt like after the last episode, that just came out of nowhere and went down a weird left-hand path. I felt like, maybe we would just be surprised. So that's why for me, it wasn't totally, like, on the nose. It was hoped it would be on the nose, and then it paid off.
Yeah, I guess that is more hope. Especially, like, I still hold on to, they got to use more from Legends than they admit they're going to use. And, like, the Mandalorian culture, like, even you kind of get it in the cartoons and stuff, too. But they're a bunch of vicious warriors and stuff. But they also stress family ties.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they adopt war orphans. Like, they are so big on children. Like, they don't fucking hurt children.
Yeah.
So
I dig it.
Like, that's just of course, he's going to turn him in because you see him get all his shiny armor and teasers and stuff. So he gets the ingots. But
I mean, our last review, we straight up said this was going to happen. So.
Yeah. God, it was just so good.
Yeah. So, okay, so the story is he's returning Baby Yoda to the client, or not Baby Yoda, the child to the client. And
Nope. Filoni came out and said we could call it that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And
So
Dr.
fuck
Pershing,
everybody that argued that. Yep.
I did find it interesting that the client straight up admitted, no, I was the one that put all those other bounty hunters out on you. That was weird, I thought, because I thought it was supposed to be only one person went after a bounty at a time.
Yeah, but he also explained the reason why. Like, this was a very sensitive, high target or high importance target. So
it just makes it really strange the way that they set it up, because they set it up like no one knew about this. And so you go off and talk to him. It's off the books. There's no puck or anything. But then everyone was a part of it. I don't know. Thought that was weird. Anyway, so he delivers the baby, takes the money, has his armor forged, and as it's being forged, he's asked if he would like the Mudhorn to be his sigil, and he straight up says, "No, it was not an honorable kill. I didn't do it myself." What did you think about that? Where he's like, "No, I have the integrity that I'm not going to claim I did something that I clearly did not do."
No, it's true Mandalorian, just plain and simple. Like, you're not going to brag about some shit that you didn't do. And I loved how he explained it too, that it was the help of his enemy. And, well, why would your enemy do that? I don't know that they're my enemy, I guess.
Yeah.
So
That was
fucking
really
classic.
interesting. And then you had who I swear is Dave Filoni come in, but who knows who it is. I don't know. It could have been Jon Favreau, actually. The big Mando
Mhm.
that came in and was just starting shit with Mandalorian,
Oh
saying
my god.
he hasn't earned the right to be a Mandalorian, that he's working with the Empire, and so he's working with the enemy, and it's just starting fights and stuff. And then immediately the vibroblades come out. I was
That
blown away.
okay, so that's something that I about had a fucking heart attack over. Because we've seen vibroblades, we've seen vibro staffs, we've seen vibro spears in movies. I cannot recall one fucking time we've ever actually seen them activated. Like that moment where they stop and they're holding their blades at each other. Like you see them. Oh my god, I was like, so cool.
So damn cool, man. So damn cool. Josh is saying it was Favreau that did the voice, but an MMA fighter was the actual actor. So yeah, I thought it sounded like Favreau or something, but
yeah,
I don't know. I was like nudging my wife, but I was trying to focus too. That's my code for, hey, I know something. Okay, so they're stopped by the blacksmith, who's basically just like the de facto leader of this little group, telling them, no, this is Mando culture, this is how we do things, this is the way it's done, it's always been. She makes the armor, he goes right back to work. He doesn't have a spa day, he doesn't get a pedicure. It's just
he's a true Mandalorian, because I would have totally gone to the Twi'lek health spa or the health baths. Just throwing that out there.
There's good massage with happy ending. It's good. Yeah. Just went right back to work. And then I feel like the client that he chose, the head of that puck, is like Akbar's, like his prince is his nephew is the prince, right? Akbar? From the comics, I feel like there was a comic that just came out where they went and found like Akbar's relative, and Leia's trying to like calm him down or something.
Was he?
I don't know.
I can't remember if he was actual royalty or not, but yeah, I mean that could very well be it.
I can't remember anymore. I don't know what the fuck it was. There's so much shit coming out, but I feel like it's gonna have like some bearing in some other medium that's gonna make more sense about who the client actually is. Like he's going to work for the Empire to get a rebel, or something like that. Anyway, but then this is like way after that, so I don't fucking know anymore. So he takes the job, he gets in a ship, and he's just like, I'm leaving. I did my job. I turned over the kid, but look at my 8-ball stick shift cover.
Yeah.
Well,
not only that, but like before he goes back, like he's talking to Carl Weathers. I forget what his name is in this, but like, what are they going to do with the kid? And he's like,
Grief card.
Mandalorian, that's none of your fucking business, dude. You're a bounty hunter. That's against guild codes.
Yeah. He's like, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, well, fuck you, guy. I'm going to go play with my fuzzy dad.
He just can't do it. And he shuts his ship down, and then it's just like a one-man Punisher. Like, and it really did actually remind me of the Punisher in a lot of fucking ways, where he's like going in, he's finding out that the client just wants Dr. Pershing to extract it, whatever that is. We assume it's like midi-chlorians or the Force or something like that, or DNA maybe, and then get rid of this thing. And Dr. Pershing's doing everything he can to make sure it's saved, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be some future developments with him.
Oh, definitely.
Mandalorian blows a hole in the wall, goes in, takes Baby Yoda, and murders every stormtrooper in a 20-mile radius. Like,
yeah. The whole while holding a fucking baby.
Yeah, swaddling Yoda baby.
So good.
I loved watching that so damn much. It just made me feel so good. It reminded me of it reminded me a little bit of like Lethal Weapon for some weird reason. But just the craziness of him going through and just whipping ass all by himself. Very 80s-esque.
Oh yeah.
Is maybe my point. So then he gets out into the open air, and he thinks he's all free and clear, and then suddenly every bounty hunter like little tracker device is going off all over the city, and this is like John Wick. level shit. Like, all the bounty hunters in the area just immediately come swooping in and pretty much just block him off right in front of his ship. And Grief Karga comes out. He's like, Mando, don't be dumb. Hand over the child. Like, let's just end this. And the Mando does exactly what a Mandalorian must. And he's like, fuck you, jumps in a fucking wagon and just starts picking motherfuckers off.
So good.
Fucking dope, man. And then, of course, he's only one guy. He got beat by a mudhorn. He was sort of taken advantage of by Jawas. He's not invulnerable. And, you know, this isn't Kill Bill Volume 2. So he has to kind of, you know, face the facts that he's probably going to die. And he's ready to stand it down in the face just like he did with that mudhorn. But then, circa fucking Clone Wars, Mando's flying in.
See, in this is what we've been waiting for since we got Mandalorians on screen. Like, cartoons didn't do it justice. I mean, even Rebels, we had such a heavy presence of Mandalorians. This, 2 fucking minutes, was more than the past fucking decade of cartoons.
It was glorious.
Oh, so amazing.
Watching the different types of Mandalorians fight in their own ways, seeing the personalities coming through, but then just the fact that they were giving this guy shit because they didn't feel like he deserved it, and then he is putting everything on the line to rescue a foundling, and they all support him. They're like, you know what, we had a problem, but we're good now. You're doing the right thing. You're representing. Let's do this. And they just kicking ass.
So goddamn good.
So fucking glorious.
Especially because, like, they were stressing, like, in their interactions at the smelter, like, you know, we need to hide, we need to keep our numbers low so nobody knows. And then that was just them being like, well, all right, he needs our help, he's one of us, fuck it, we'll find a different planet.
I love that so much. Just seeing the unity of it, just the aesthetics of seeing all those jetpacks come like jumping in and like shooting from the air and stuff. And then just like the groundwork, like the individual who shot this did an amazing job because it gave so many different wonderful angles of exploration. The visuals are just absolutely stunning. Ultimately, the Mandalorians coming in to rescue the Mandalorian allow him to get away. He runs off to his ship, and Grief Karga is waiting there for him, and he'd already tipped his hat with the Beskar in his vest, so I think that was kind of on the nose when the Mandalorian shot him, knocked him off his ship, and flew away. Yeah,
he knew he wasn't going to die.
Yeah, which I just thought was a really nice nod, you know, to people paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just like I got my taste, and that was it. So that was the whole setup for the future payoff, which I thought was great. And then he's off. So what's brilliant about this, and that was the episode, is that I have no idea what's happening next.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going to...
Yeah.
No idea.
No fucking clue. And that's the way it should be.
So
like,
brilliant.
Just period.
Like that... The Yoda baby was the greatest MacGuffin to set up literally everything. So not only did it set up the little bounty hunter extraction, but it sets up the story arc for the Mandalorian, the character, and then the greater story arc about whatever implications are going to be happening later on. I mean, that's a bold move to throw in a little baby Yoda like that.
Oh yeah. I can't wait for future seasons to see him in armor. It's gotta fucking happen.
It'd be so badass.
I will just cry and cry.
Baby Yoda
just out of pure joy. It needs to happen.
What were your favorite parts of this episode?
Okay, so first and foremost, anytime there's a fucking ice cream maker, I'm on board. Like, it was so awesome to see them bringing that shit back.
Yeah. And
the way that it functioned, like, I'm probably going to have to break apart my ice cream maker and make it do that. Cause,
I was surprised that that's how it functioned, too.
Yeah, that was so awesome. Oh, shit, sorry, let me pull up my notes. I'm over here watching the fucking video that you guys are watching.
You're a professional.
So of course we got the ice cream maker. Getting little bit more glimpses into his childhood.
Yeah.
It's nice, and especially to see that it's. I mean, we know this, of course, but I mean, those were fucking B2s that were taking out his clan. Like, obviously, he's a child of the Clone Wars, so yeah, that was just nice to see. And it's also sort of like, is that peacetime Mandalore, or is he literally just an actual foundling? Like, he's not Mandalorian blood, but I mean,
I kind of want it to be the Mando Wars, like the Purge or whatever that happened.
Yeah, that's honestly, well, no, because the Purge didn't happen under the Galactic Republic. I mean, unless they.
Well, we haven't figured out, because that's gonna be the end of the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
Is the Empire coming in and squashing the Mandalorians?
Well, no, because it's not the Empire yet. It's still the Galactic Republic, because the Clone Wars is taking place in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge.
Oh yeah, so what the fuck? This whole time I've been thinking.
Yeah, so it's like I wonder if those are like recommissioned V2s, or if that is like the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice to get those little teasers that you feel like you're getting a lot more than you actually are.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that, and then just it seems like every episode we're getting just a tiny bit more of what it's like, the culture of the Mandalorian, and what it is now versus what we've seen in the cartoons, because of course this is 3 years after the last movie, Return. So
yeah, and I mean, to your point, what they're saying is Mandalorian culture does not mesh up 100% with what we know of Mandalorian culture from the Clone Wars.
Oh, and yeah, or even Rebels.
Yeah,
even Rebels was vastly different from the Clone Wars.
And so it makes me think that none of them are Mandalorians, and they just are people who want to recreate Mandalorians and are going off of tales of Mandalorians rather than what they are actually, because the idea of never removing your mask doesn't make any sense at all.
It's symbolic. That's all it is. It's because the Mandalorians, so much of their culture is based on their armor and by their Beskar. Like, that's how they became the powerhouse that they were, was their Beskar iron. So it's sort of symbolic of, have you ever disavowed your people, or have you ever, let somebody else take your culture from you? That's how I see the, have you ever removed your helmets? Has anybody taken it off of you?
Okay.
But that could also be me reading into it just because of all the previous shit we got with, the legends and stuff.
Right. I mean, either way, it's going to be proof of character development if at any point he lets someone take it off of him. That's going to be like that's going to be his final story arc motive of saying, I didn't need the armor to be the hero that I was trying to be, or the powerful person I was trying to be. It was always within, and he's going to take it off and be like, look at me, I'm beautiful Spanish god,
He is a pretty attractive dude.
Sorry, that was just
and he can get away with wearing some shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. I do like what Hana is saying in the chat. So the ice cream maker that Wilro Hood is running away with is full of credits also? Was he robbing Lando?
No, it was a memory core.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we changed
they're not the same ice cream makers. The one that Wilbur Hood was carrying was a memory core, because as far as anybody knew, Besman was going down. So he was one of the chiefs in charge of shit like that. So he was trying to take essentially his entire life's work with him. Whereas it's a fucking safe.
Right.
So.
Okay. I guess there's
maybe he was stealing shit from Lando. Who knows?
We're going to let you, the viewer, have your own version of canon for that story. No, I thought my favorite parts of this Mandalorian was seeing him finally. Like, I feel like Yoda Baby is going to be on his back in like 3 episodes. Like, there's going to be a point where the Yoda Baby just climbs on the back of the Mandalorian, and the Mandalorian just like flies off, or there's like this heroic scene of panning around him posing, or I feel like it's going to happen.
Oh yeah. It's got to happen, or he's gonna get like,
if he does a flip,
take his cape, flip it around, and just make a little hammock for him.
I love this little Yoda guy so goddamn much, and I don't know why.
That's how they get you, man. It's just like the fucking Porgs. It's just like the Ewoks. They get you.
The Yoda baby's like the next level, though.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like watching a cute dog video versus watching a cute puppy video. It's like next level.
That is very true. Yeah.
The whole time I was just like, oh, because I was feeling the emotion that the Mandalorian was feeling when he picked up that fucking knob end and he goes to put it back on. He's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Like, I was just like, you can't leave him. Please don't leave him. So
yeah, I mean, this entire series so far has, of course, felt like what it's supposed to be, which is a Western. But that was just full-blown, like, fucking spaghetti Western. Like, all right, let's do this. Like, you expect to see him pulling out his revolver, fucking checking it, clicking it, putting it back in the holster, and then kicking in a door.
I cannot wait to see where we're going to end up. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I love this so damn much. This is the greatest thing since Disney bought Star Wars. This is the best.
Absolutely. Like, this is the best.
Crazy. All right. So, let us know what you guys thought about the episode, and if we didn't cover anything that you wanted us to cover, let us know.
Yes, because I will talk your fucking ear off about this show. I've been talking about it, since Friday morning to everybody that'll listen to me.
Yeah. It is fucking magical. All right, let's do our last section. This is an interactive review. Interactive meaning the interactive medium. So whether it's VR or traditional video gaming or mobile gaming or whatever, board gaming, this is where we're just going to talk about that type of stuff. I don't have any frame or intro or anything for it. So interactive gaming reviews. Woo! I don't know why I did that. This is going to be over Jedi Fallen Order. So this was just recently released this past week and a half, or just maybe the past week.
Yep, it was Friday.
I would like to say that I don't play video games, ever. Like, it's been years since I've spent any significant amount of time playing anything. Those of you who have ever watched one of the 3 walkthrough videos of the last video game, Dark Forces, that I've been playing, will know that it's like once every 8 months or something like that. It's not very often. I have been obsessed every morning and every evening with this goddamn game. It is so good, and I can't help it. I'm just pulled in because it's got everything from puzzle solving to action adventure to really great story, Anyway, so you're playing as the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis or something like that, who is hiding but is discovered because he ended up in this scene right here, saving his friend that he was sort of working with. The Inquisitors discovered his presence, and basically he goes on the run and he runs into other sort of Jedi from those comics that were released, sort of like a prelude to this. You meet, both of them ultimately, and they lead you on through this whole narrative of, trying to revive the Jedi. It's very fun. It's very interesting. It keeps you guessing. It has every mode of gameplay for whatever level of a gamer you are. There's like 4 different levels, and it's like you can change it on the fly. You don't have to start brand new. So you can go at like medium or hard until you can't pass something, and then drop it down to easy so you can get past the thing you were having trouble with, and then bump it right back up to wherever you were before. It's really cool like that. And it's immersive. It reminds me of Knights of the Old Republic, where you have a little bit of it's less RPG, but there's still RPG. RPG, thank you.
It's elements. A motherfucker to say fast.
3 times fast. It has those elements in it, but it's just beautiful, and the story, again, is pretty goddamn, deep. Deeper than I would have ever thought it would get, but deep, and I love it so much. So, you've downloaded this game. You have not played it.
I am a fucking loser. Or, I guess, what's the opposite of loser? Busy. So, I'm fucking double loser. Yeah, it's one of those games I have been just head over heels for since they announced it. And usually when a game like this comes out, I won't play it the first night. I'll get it loaded and make sure everything's working, but I'll wait until like that Saturday that a game comes out, and I'll sit down. I'll have a bunch of fucking beer, a bunch of Coke to counteract the sleepy time stuff, and I will just play until I'm falling asleep on the couch at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's usually how I do video games. This one, I was pissed that I couldn't do that. So that's what I'm doing tonight, is probably staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning playing this. It's just, God, it's so exciting. The thing I'm looking forward to most is being able to see, the Inquisitors before Vader actually trains him. Because, of course, we've seen them after Vader trains them and makes them just fucking badasses. Right. So it's like, I'm looking forward to seeing them before he mutilated them.
It's very, 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 very cool. And you get to know them on a level that up until now I've not known, that we've been, like, the intimacy of knowing who is behind the mask, as it were, is very cool. So, dude, it's so fucking good. And again, I'm not a gamer, but it's accessible enough that if you're not like a hardcore button masher, you can still play this game and enjoy the story and still feel challenged and have fun.
That's good. That's something that always worries me with certain games. Because like I was telling you before we got on, so the way I typically play, heavy narratives like this is I'll always start off on easy, because fuck you, I start off on easy. I want a story. I don't want to be throwing my controller at the TV at 2 in the morning when my wife is sleeping, because she's going to murder me. So I'll start off on easy, beat the game, and then immediately go back through on like at least hard, if not expert, and just get my ass handed to me and try to pick up as much stuff as I can.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that you can just change the difficulty.
Yeah.
Because 5 minutes in on expert, I'm sure I'm gonna be like, fuck this shit, and I'll go back to easy.
Just regular stormtroopers are whipping your ass.
I'm so excited
what
for this.
What is happening? No, it's a lot of fun, and it's just the exploring element. You can literally travel at your own free whim to different planets throughout the galaxy, and it's sort of open world in that way, where you get to go to one place, do everything that you're possible at the time, go off on other adventures, grow and become more powerful, and then you can go back to that first place and unlock all sorts of new stuff that wasn't there before. And so it makes every location a repeat destination, which is one, a really great storytelling tactic, but 2, exciting for the player, because you get to learn new things that in a familiar place. I don't know. It's really great. And she is a badass. That 7th sister. Oof. Is it 7th or 2nd? No.
I think that one's the 7th sister. Yeah. Or is it the big one that's the 7th sister?
She's in it too, but that one I think is the 7th.
Yeah.
Anyway, the story is great. The gameplay is great. If you have the ability to buy this game and you're curious, I think it's a sound investment. Like, you will spend dozens of hours on this game.
Yeah.
And that's worth like $50-$60 to me. So.
Oh, easily. I got the deluxe edition, and this is one that I can already tell that I am going to get my money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So, every now and then you'll buy one where it's like, it's an extra $20 for all the add-ons and shit. Whatever, I'll get it. And then you start playing, and it's like, oh God, I should have bought this used.
Oh man, I want to get back to it, and I'm gonna be able to, because we're at our time limit here.
Yeah, I think
we're at the end of the show. That was it.
Yeah.
So watch The Mandalorian, play Fallen Order, and if you have time and no significant other, maybe watch Resistance.
It's getting better, guys. It's getting better.
It really is. We have to be fair, because we do harsh on it pretty hard when it's bad.
Yeah, it's
really bad.
Yeah, I will definitely give them credit when it's due. Yeah. Like, this was a fun episode. Still, I am going to compare everything to the Signal from Sector 6, because as far as I'm concerned, that's probably the best episode they're ever going to have.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
But it's pretty good. It's not that good, but it's pretty good.
If they end this whole series with Kowakian monkey lizards just tearing everyone apart, I would be totally satisfied.
I will take back every bad thing I ever said about the show.
Really nailed it in the end.
Yep.
Did not see
They
that coming.
fucking twisteroo. They got me, those sons of bitches.
Well, let us know, everyone watching, and after the fact, what you thought of this format. Is this all right? Do you like it more segmented off as we were doing before? I don't know that you're going to get it if you do, because we just don't have that much time, and there's just too much Star Wars to cover. So this works for us. Hopefully it works for you, and we'll refine it as time goes by. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching this, and if you love Star Wars like we do, let us know in the comments. Like and share the video, and until next time, people, may the Force be with you.
This is the way.
I can't find the button. I got it. Dang.
I almost got that tattooed on the side of my head this weekend.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I'm going to get it eventually. Just, no clue when. I have to. As soon as I heard that line, it's like, yeah, that's going in on my